Hello everyone, my name is Magnus, and I'm gonna do something a little bit differently from now on. I've already tried the whole Let's Play thing. I honestly wasn't enjoying it, and now that me, as well as most of the Zero Talent Squad, are back in school, because we're all college students currently, um, you know, I, I don't have time to really sit down and make a video every single day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to an old passion of mine, and that's MMOs. Now, as of last week, I was looking around for an MMO to, try to sink my teeth into, if you would. The problem is that there's not really that much good info out there. A lot of MMO reviews, at least from my personal experience, will give you, I don't know, they'll either focus on the leveling system, or even worse, they'll focus on the in-game content. And I don't know what your guys' individual experience is with MMOs, but if the leveling system isn't solid, you ain't gonna get to the end phase of an MMO. So there's no point of even talking about that stuff. Unless you're talking about a juggernaut like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, those games that people have to actively pay to play, because if you're constantly giving a company your money, then you're going to be more likely to go back to it. At least that's how I was with World of Warcraft for 9 years. So, now, taking it back a couple steps, my experience with MMOs is a lengthy one. I started playing MMOs whenever I was a kid. Back in 5th grade. Yeah. Back in 5th grade, I started playing World of Warcraft. Maybe 4th grade. I don't know. My memory's not that great. It was somewhere around there. So, and right now, I am a junior in college, if that tells you anything. That's a long-ass time. Like, 15 years of MMO experience? No. 12, 13, somewhere around there. You guys do the math. I ain't fucking with that shit. But, so, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be devoting a little bit of my free time every single day to playing a new MMO. And recording a little bit, copying and pasting some clips, and then doing a voiceover on the weekends. So, at least that's what I did for Blade and Soul. You guys give me feedback if you liked the voiceover, or if you would rather me actively be playing the game while talking to you guys. I figured I would start off with something like this because I'm new to YouTube, and if I play a game, then I don't talk a lot because I just suck like that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, first on the list is first impressions. Because if you don't make a strong first impression, or if the game sucks right out of the gate, you're not going to keep playing it. Then I'm going to touch on some of this game's strengths, followed by some preference-based info, things that you might not like that somebody else might like, or something that you would consider a strength that somebody else would consider a weakness. Then the weaknesses, and then the pay to win. Or in this case, if it is pay to win or not, because that's one of the questions that got really fucking complicated whenever I looked into it before I started playing the game. So, again, we're gonna get right into this, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so right out of the gate, we're going to start talking about first impressions. My first impression with this game was that it has a solid leveling system, and the combat's fun. I mean, it starts off kind of slow because you start off with very few skills, much like most other MMOs. However, it slowly ramps up until you get to about 30, 35, and then, you start to get all of your skills, and then you're just comboing everything back and forth, trying to, come up with the best way to play your class for you. Because that is one thing that I did notice about this game, is that a lot of it is figuring out what works for you. and what is fun for you. If you do that, then you'll have fun with this game. The questing is relatively streamlined. I mean, you're pretty much going to be doing the yellow marker quests. From what I've seen, all those little blue markers, which are the side quests, they're not worth your time. At level 30, 35, 36, I was getting about 2,000 XP per side quest. At level 45, I am getting about 2,500. That's 10 levels, that's a lot of XP difference, but at the same time, they're giving you very little returns. And a lot of times, they're just a pain in the ass. Not going to waste the time talking about the technical stuff as far as system requirements, stuff like that. You guys can go and look that stuff up on your own. I am running it at max settings. I think the game looks beautiful. I have a little bit of frame skipping, and that is just because from what I have researched, this game is built on I think it's Unreal Engine 3, but it has problems with newer systems, and my system's brand new. My processor, graphics card, everything just came out this year. So that's why I'm experiencing frame skipping issues. Now, that's all I'm going to talk about as far as the technological aspect. One thing that this game was sorely lacking is crafting. From what I have seen, crafting is not integrated into the lower leveling and into the leveling system at all, because the base crafting requires you to send people out and pay for them to go to jobs, much like other games that uses like third-party crafting systems. Like, you gotta go to some place, hire them to go gather your shit, and then hire somebody to build it. The amount of money that it costs to hire someone to go and get your shit for you is like, it's more than what I have at this point in the game. And I'm not a low level, but I'm not a super high level. I'm not cap level yet. So that's as far as crafting goes. I can't even tell you what crafting is in this game. Like I said, I'm basing this off of my own experience just with the week of this game, because I'm not giving this information to people who are veterans of this game. I'm giving this information to the people who don't know anything about this game and are trying to look into it. Alright. Went ahead and cut out that part. All that I was doing was just sitting there killing that monster for about 45 minutes, trying to get the weapons and the cosmetics. But strengths are what we're going to talk about now. The first strength that I would like to point out is the community is relatively relaxed, and they're kind of funny. I mean, if you look in the chat box right now, somebody just said, "Have you ever seen a woman who was so beautiful you thought there's no way she poops?" You know, it's just things like that that make you appreciate a community. Not only that, but also every time I asked a question, you know, I wasn't met with hatred or anything. I was given a general, or not a general, but I was given a good answer, and I never had to ask the same question twice. Another good thing, as mentioned before, this game does have a story. However, you can completely skip over the story and still understand what is going on, because a majority of the story is not only told through cutscenes and through dialogue, but also through the combat itself. Which, for me, I don't play an MMO for the story. I honestly want to play an MMO to play with my friends. However, I didn't have any friends who played this one with me, so I was kind of flying solo. Another strength is it can be a strength. The combat takes some getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I played this game just for the sake of playing it. I mean, there was no other thing that was keeping me playing the game. I just was having fun with the game, which is something that I can't say about most MMOs. Most MMOs, I'm just grinding to get to the cap level, because that's where a lot of the fun is. This game presents you with fun from level 1. I mean, Another good thing about the game is you can also play the entire game without really needing to rely on other people. Even the world bosses, which again was that thing that I was killing over and over again, a lot of it I was killing by myself just because I was good enough with my class to do it. I mean, it wasn't necessarily difficult. A lot of the world bosses are set up to where you can easily solo them. Um, but you can do a lot of the things in this game. Honestly, you can progress through the entire story and get from level 1 to cap level without needing another person's help. Which is a good thing because as far as leveling goes, there isn't very many people around. Now, before we get into that, the last strength that I have goes back to what I just said about being able to do most of the content by yourself. If there is content that is going to be difficult, there are dragon statues, which give you 2 additional lives in combat to help you solo that stuff. That's 2 get out of jail free cards, or 2, you fucked up the mechanics and you got hit with a hard AoE, or you got hit with a CC chain and it fucked you. The game caters to those who want to play by themselves. From my experience, I never once grouped up, and the entire time I played this game. The last strength that this game has that I'm going to list is by far the strongest in my opinion. The atmosphere of this game is ridiculous. It does a very, very good job of making you feel like you are an actual hero from the Three Kingdoms era. I'm talking like straight out of a Dynasty Warriors game or some shit. Best examples that I can think of is just the movement. How you fly around. It's like a bad Chinese action flick almost. I mean, I like it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot better than the traditional system that we have. Thousands of different mounts, flying mounts, fast mounts, slow mounts. I like it. It's a nice, refreshing change, and it's just one of the minor things that set this game apart from the other games that I've played that makes a world of a difference. One thing I was always told growing up is that if you take care of the small things, the big things will take care of themselves. And that is the biggest strength of this game. It took care of the small things. The movement, the art style, all of that. And the big thing, creating its own identity, took care of itself. Alright, next on the list of things to go over is the stuff that I'm on the fence about. The stuff that I couldn't necessarily put as a strength, but I couldn't quite dock it as a weakness. The fan service. This game has a lot of fan service in it. Every time you jump and glide as a female character, it's a panty shot. The jiggle physics in this game is so ridiculous that I'm shocked that people aren't walking around with black eyes. If you're looking for a family-friendly game, I don't know if this game is it. That's why I can't dock it and I can't put it as a strength. Because depending upon what you as an individual would be looking for, that might be a deal breaker. Now, again, going back to what I have seen, this I actually had to do a little bit of research on. Because, like I said, I haven't been able to group up with people. I played other classes and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like there are definite roles. I'm talking like your traditional tank, DPS, heal roles that was given to us by games like World of Warcraft. The classes of this game, they're completely and totally different. Like Blade Dancer, some classes have more of a defensive aspect, but it's always a trade-off. It might be a little bit more defensive, but it's a lot less offensive, stuff like that. I didn't see that there was a defined healer. I didn't even experience a threat system in this game, or a threat management, I guess I should say, like taunting and stuff like that. Even going to the armor how there is no armor. It's all that those relics and stuff like that. You can itemize your character to be more defensive. Even if you're playing a DPS class, you can get evasion, defense out the ass, which is a good thing. And I like that because it means you can play to your own individual style. But the fact that there aren't specifically defined roles might turn some people off. Me, every MMO I have ever played, other than this one, I was a sword and board tank. So I was actually, I was really out of my element to begin with, but I enjoyed it, and because of that, I'm actually going to start branching out in more MMOs, trying to do things other than sword and board. The last thing that I'm on the fence about is the PvP. I never experienced any of the PvP firsthand. However, while I was playing, a window in the bottom right popped up and said, Blade and Soul TV is live. So I clicked on it, and I watched it. I'm actually going to be putting some of the Blade and Soul Twitch footage right here so you guys can see it. It is directly from the Blade and Soul broadcast. You know, I'm going to put a link down in the description to their Twitch channel, and so you guys can go over there and support that if you want. But it's very unique. It's like nothing I have seen in an MMO. It's kind of like the 3v3 arenas in WoW, where it's just you and 3 other people, but it's tag team based. You have time limits, you have windows where you can tag in and tag out. You can come in for a couple seconds and help, but it's primarily one-on-one. And it's a beautiful and a great idea, but at the same time, it is more geared towards endgame, it seems like. Going back to what I said about things being geared towards endgame, if it's not good up until the endgame, you ain't gonna get to the endgame. And at this point, this is about the point where I was having to force myself to constantly play this game. Force myself to try to get to that cap level just so that I would have more information to give you guys. It was close to this point that the game stopped interesting me. Now, it might be a little unfair to the game to hold it 100% accountable for the feelings that I started to get. You know, PvP like that looks great if you have friends to play with. You know, I could tell you guys how amazing the dungeons are. Or, well, I guess I could if I would have been able to actually get into any of them. The thing is the game has a dungeon finder system. It's F8. You hit F8, it takes you into a lobby, and you have to sit in the lobby and wait for you to get a group for the dungeon. You can't do anything but sit and wait. I think you can look through your pictures and shit like that, but, I mean, unless you're a screen archer, there's no point in, there's no real point in doing that as far as sitting in your pictures. I mean, I sat in there for about 30 minutes before I gave up 3 separate times. And this was multiple different days throughout the week because, like I said, I played this game off and on for an entire week while I was also going to school and taking care of other things. On that same note, I even joined a clan. Actually, I think I joined 5 or 6 because you can hit the clan button and it'll pull up ones that have open joining and you can just join them. Not a single person was in any of the clans that I joined. I tried to talk to people. I tried to find people. It wasn't the fact that I wanted to play by myself. It was the fact that I was isolated and I had to play by myself. And that's why I stopped enjoying it. I started getting to things where it was killing mobs were starting to slow down because it was more oriented towards multiple people. You know, whenever there was people in the area questing with me, you know, not in the same group but alongside of me, yeah, things were going by faster. But if I was killing things by myself, you know, it was boring. Doing the same thing over and over again, yeah. The game was nice. The game had a lot of polish and it had a lot of things going for it. It was a beautiful shining star. But you know what they say about the brightest burning stars, right? They burn out the fastest. And that's what happened with this game. This game has little to nothing. My apologies. This game had little to nothing that was keeping me coming back. once the polish wore off. Once the fact that, you know, the combat was a lot of fun, once I started getting bored with the combat, I wasn't paying attention to the story, and that's on me. The story could be engaging to the point to where it keeps you playing by yourself for all 55 levels. I don't know. If you want to know the truth, I was not anticipating playing by myself the entire time. I'm not necessarily the most sociable person in person, but on games, I try to find people to play with. I try to find people to talk to, because games are more fun as a social community. And that is what I love so much about MMOs. The community's helpful in this game, but the problem is that it's so few and far between. The only reason why I was able to get help is because there's a faction chat that you can pick one of two factions as part of the main story, and you can talk with everybody who is in that faction no matter where they're at. And that is the only reason why I was able to get help when I needed help, is because I had access to people from all over the map. I would love to give you guys information about the dungeons, but why would I do that whenever I didn't even get the chance to experience any of them? Remember what I said close to the beginning of this video. I am giving you guys what I experienced, because if you were to go out and play this game tonight, or tomorrow night, or within the next couple of days, and probably within the next couple of weeks, up until September 12th when the next update comes out, you'll be alone. But as soon as September 12th hits and that new class comes out, there's going to be a resurgence of players. And that is the only thing that keeps people coming back. It's not the content that's already there, it's the promise of new content. But whenever that content gets stale, the population will drop again. And then you're going to be left questing by yourself. I love this game, and I had a lot of fun with this game. But there's nothing to keep you coming back. If you joined with friends, or if you already are on the game and you already have an established community, or you're lucky enough to join one of those communities that is just so full of themselves, they're not so full of themselves, but they're what's the word? They're actually social. They actually are doing something and are actively participating in the game, then you may love this game. You may have a much better experience with this game than what I had. But after playing it for less than 5 days, I got bored with the game. And after I make this video, there's a good chance I may never touch the game again, because I don't have a reason to go back other than the polish. Polish fades. They need something to keep you coming back. And honestly, if you have a reason to go back to the game, you probably already go back to the game and you wouldn't be watching this video right now. Now, with that being said, that brings me to my next point. My next topic of conversation. Is this game pay to win? The short answer is yes. But if you actually sit down and look at the game and look at the business model, it is almost disgusting. This game is not only set up to be heavily pay to win, but this game is set up to charge you more every single time you open up your credit card, you open up your wallet, and you open up your bank account to this company. They will charge you more. In the actual store, it will tell you that the price of the items go up depending upon how many you purchase. Which means that the more you purchase, the more it costs to get the next one. Which means not only is this game pay to win, but they are suckering you out of every single penny they can. The deeper I got into this game, the more upset it made me. Because this game is beautiful. This game has a lot going for it. And it had a lot going for it. But the company is just dirty. The company has a shitty business model. And they have it set up to where they'll bring customers back in and then rope them for a quick $10 to $15 on the way out. That's what's going to happen. I mentioned September the 12th. They're releasing a new class. Yeah, the class is going to be free, but I bet you money they're going to try to figure out some way. And they will do something that not requires people to pay money, but encourages it because it is easier than working for it. Yeah, you can get everything in this game without ever opening up your wallet, but it's not easy. It'll take you a whole lot longer to get your stuff legitimately versus opening up your wallet. I'm all for companies introducing microtransactions. Yeah, I'm going to be the villain here and say, if it's a free-to-play game, they need microtransactions to sustain themselves. Look at League of Legends. League of Legends, even though it is turning into an awful game, even though that's a topic for another video. But what they've done is they have made a shit ton of money off of microtransactions without ever requiring or really giving somebody a more difficult option than to open up their wallet. All that it is it's a skin. That's it. That's all that League offers. Other games do it the same thing. The same way. I understand people hate Nexon and they'll hate on Nexon all they want, but I've played a little bit of Vindictus, and the only thing that you really get out of opening up your wallet for Vindictus is a little bit of like cosmetics. I'm going to be covering Vindictus in a later video. I already planned that. But going back to what I was saying, this game was beautiful. This game was great. And it was ruined by the company. The company, honestly, if you want to know the honest truth, you could probably blame the company for the lack of community. The lack of player base would all go back to their business model. The fact that this game encourages you, almost requires you to open up your wallet to get anywhere. I'm all about microtransactions, but I do not agree with that. So, let's get down to it then. Honestly, if you were to ask me if I would recommend this game, I would have to ask you what you want to do. If you just want a game that is fun to mess around in for a couple days, like you're waiting on something to come out, or you got a little bit of free time, you want to play it for a couple days, oh hell yeah. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this game to you. It's like, I think it's like 40 gigs to download. It didn't take me too long to download it, and I ended up having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, it occupied my time for 5 days. But I will warn you this. If you do play this game, do not get attached. Your wallet and your bank account will thank you later. With that being said, that is my opinion. That's just me. You can take what I said with a grain of salt, and this is just from my experience. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be doing these once a week. I will be trying to do a different MMO every single week. Next week, Next week, I'm going to be doing World of Warcraft. The following week, I will probably be doing Final Fantasy XIV. And then after that, I think I'm going to be doing Bless. Bless has caused a lot of shockwaves, so I want to get into it and, you know, give you guys some honest and, like, harsh feedback. Because, I don't know, the reviews that I've been reading of it are kind of vague. And I haven't seen very many YouTube videos out there. But, like I said, I want to get into it and experience it for myself. And then I will let you guys know. As always, I am Magnus. And like I said, this is going to be a weekly thing because I am currently in school again. If you guys want to keep up with me, keep up with us at the Zero Talent Squad, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video. Let me know what you think. Again, this is the first video that I've done like this. So if you guys want me to actually record myself playing the game while talking to you guys, I can try to do that. However, whenever I play games, I tend to tunnel vision on the game. That's why I went with this, so that I could talk to you guys constantly without having to focus on the game. As always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.